This discussion is about the incident command system in healthcare. We have a few objectives for this lecture. First, we're going to talk about the principles of the incident command system. We're going to describe the history of the incident command system and the purpose. Finally, we talk about how the incident command system basically fits into healthcare. The ultimate goal of any mass casualty response, whether it be a man-made disaster or natural disaster, is to obtain the best possible outcome for the greatest number of people. The challenge is rapidly gaining control of any disaster scene or situation or response and organizing those involved with the response. ICS is simply a tool used to achieve the objectives of command and control. The issue of who is in charge during a disaster is critical to the disaster response, and it should be determined before the disaster happens. ICS is a tool used to manage any type of disaster or any response to any critical event. It is standardized, proven, effective method for managing events. This slide illustrates the basic organizational structure of the ICS and the relationship between the command staff, shown in blue, and the general staff, shown in yellow or orange. The public relations, liaison, and safety officers are considered actually part of the command staff and report directly to the incident commander. Beneath that are 4 section chiefs. They're actually shown in yellow or orange, and they, with their staff, are considered the general staff. Of note, the incident commander may choose to activate only some of those section chiefs. He or she does not have to activate all of them all of the time. ICS helps to ensure the safety of responders and others, the efficient use of tactical objectives, and the efficient use of resources. ICS helps to ensure the safety of responders and others, the achievement of tactical objectives, and the efficient use of resources. The concept of ICS was developed in the United States and California in 1970. It was developed in response to a series of terrible wildfires. At that time, 1970, there was no mechanism to integrate the dozens of responding agencies involved in managing this large-scale event, and the response was predictably chaotic. As a result of this wildfire incident, 16 people died, 885 homes were destroyed, and there was about $230 million worth of damages. In its aftermath, people got together and said, how could we do better? What they created was something called FireScope. FireScope is the grandfather to our present-day incident command system. The most important thing to know about ICS is that functional requirements, not job titles, determines the organizational hierarchy, meaning the CEO of an organization may not be the best person to assume the role of incident commander in a disaster. The structure is built around 5 major management activities or functions required in a disaster setting: command, operations, planning, logistics, and finance, or basically administration. These 5 functions are common to any disaster. Now, with the increased incidence of terrorists in the past several years, there is sometimes a 6th branch added. That 6th branch is called the intelligence branch. This person is responsible for gathering information related to the forensics or the criminal activity of the event. The incident commander has to do the following. He or she needs to have clear authority and no agency policy. They need to establish the incident command post. They should set priorities and determine incident objectives and the strategies that are to be followed. They need to approve the action plans for the disaster. They need to coordinate the command and the general staff. They need to approve resource requests and the use of volunteers. And finally, they will order demobilization when it's needed. Now, transfer of command. Usually the incident commander in a disaster is in charge for several hours, probably 12 hours. The incident commander, however, never turns over command of the disaster to anyone who has less experience or less training than himself. The incident commander directs the disaster operations from the incident command post. Generally, the incident command post is located or in the immediate vicinity of the incident site, but the site is very safe. The public relations officer serves as the point of contact for the media and the public. The PIO must gather complete and accurate information. The safety officer. The safety officer is responsible for assessing safety hazards and developing appropriate safeguards. Now, these are appropriate hazards and safeguards for the responders. You absolutely have to make sure that your responders are safe. The liaison officer coordinates efforts with outside agencies and outside services. The operations chief directs and coordinates all incident tactical operations, including decontamination and waste removal. The role is typically one of the very first to be assigned. The planning chief. The planning chief provides the incident commander with the necessary situation awareness and develops a strategy and the accompanying action plans. He or she knows the status of resources and evaluates the future resources that will be needed for the response. This includes personnel. This person basically tries to keep one step ahead of the disaster. The logistics chief. The logistics chief is responsible for all of the services and support needs, including ordering, obtaining, maintaining, and accounting for essential personnel, equipment, and supplies. This person is responsible for providing a communication structure. He or she will set up food services and provide transportation for responders as needed. The finance officer. This person is responsible for keeping a record of all the financial costs of the disaster response. He or she oversees contract negotiations, keeps track of personnel timesheets, keeps track of equipment. This person, after the disaster response is over, is the one who will process all claims for accidents and injuries and works with the logistics chief to ensure resources are procured. There are 3 benefits for hospitals to use the incident command system. First, it improves overall efficiency. Second, it allows for better coordination. And finally, it improves overall communication. In summary, the incident command system provides a very clear structure for managing the diverse issues related to a disaster or critical event response. Okay, thank you for your time today.